Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Shania Wardani. I'm from Telecommunication Engineering 45 International. With my student number is 110121347. In here, I will explain my research question for fulfill the task of data literacy about the influence of social media on student learning interests. For the first, identify research question. Is social media very influential in student learning interests? And is social media very important in our learning? Can you get a clear answer? Yes. Neither too simple nor too complex? Yes. Is more than simple analysis needed? Yes. Do we have enough data and the right data type? Yes. And then identify data. The variables needed to answer the research question are: what social media are often used by students? Do students often use social media? And does social media often help students in learning and assignment? Variable characteristic. First, quantitative variable, qualitative variable, ordinal scale, and nominal scale. And then data collection. To determine the method of data collection, based on the theme of the problem raised, namely in the influence of social media on student learning interest, then with this problem we can collect data using the survey data collection method. And then for data collection, we must data collection steps. The first is determine the purpose of the survey, and next is identify what variable you want to know, and then determine the survey design, and then collecting the data. Determine the population and look for accurate data on population unit to target, especially unlimited or infinite population, because they are closely related to the problem or case being discussed. And choose a representative sample and focus on stratified random sampling, where each unit is grouped based on its characteristic. Then random sampling is carried out for each group of this characteristic. And then ask question or provide questionnaires to random respondents by distributing survey questionnaire via email to target respondents. After they collect all obtained from the respondent and do an in-depth analysis. And for data collection, provide description for each variable. What social media are often used by students are primary data, and do students often use social media? There is primary data. And the social media help students in learning and assignment. That is primary data. And all data exam is included as primary data. Data collection, identify the data that was collected. That is what social media are often used by students. There is structured data. Do students often use social media? There is structured data. And the social media often help students in learning and assignment. There is structured data. And data quality evaluation. Complete or completeness, which means having all the required data variables or observation units and the availability of values from the observation unit variable. Because the amount of data collected is quite large, especially now that we are in the big data era, data checking can be done using a sampling technique, namely stratified random sampling, using the online sampling method. Coherent or fairness of data, which means that the data is consistent and in accordance with logic. Divided into two, namely referential integrity and value integrity. For referential integrity, based on research in the influence of social media on student learning interests, students listen via social media, mostly answer, sometimes 28.1% who answer, and very often 21.4%, and who answer never is 3.1%. And the value integrity based on research the influence of social media on student learning interest. The social media that is often used is WhatsApp is 87.5%, and the one that is rarely open is Facebook is 15.6%, and students who answer sometimes discuss learning on social media as many as 28.1%, and who think social media really support learning is 50%. Correct. Data can be verified easily by means of a learning process is a process of conveying information, knowledge, and information. Learning process is a condition of knowing individual capacity to know more broadly. Through social media, knowledge and learning process no longer only focus on the accumulation of previous individual knowledge, regardless of whether it is good or bad. To use the media as a medium in the learning process, it is clear that social media applications and tools have success in providing a new challenge concept in the formation or of formal education that already exists today. And then the accountability. The data I get comes from the data source. Responsible for the data are Jane Rahman as the owner of the article, and the effect of social media on student learning process, and me as the conclusion from exiting the data source. So we next is in visualization data. In here we have methodik graphics, and we can conclude the mode of the graphics is appears in the social media variable that is often used by students is WhatsApp with a percentage 87.5%, and then we get the median is 19.5, and then x bar is 6.4, and then sigma x square is 3040.6, and s square is 760.15. And in here we have methodographies. We can conclude the mode that appears in the variable whatever you update status on social media more often than studying is sometimes with a percentage of 28.1%. And from the data we get median is 8.1, and x bar is 6.4, and sigma x square is 3040.6, and s square is 760.15. Nah. And third methodography is we get the mode is appear in the variable how often students discuss their lesson track social media is sometimes. We choose 9 respondents, and we get the percentage is 28.1%. And from the data, we get the median is 7.95, and x bar is 6.4, and sigma x square is 858.4, and s square is 214.6. So we next in statistical test methodology. We use ANOVA test. Two students often discuss, listen, track social media. Age 0, there is no influence of social media or real or virtual relationship in the student learning process. And age A is there is social media influence or real or virtual relationship in the student learning process. And the significance level is 5% or 0.05, and p-value is 0.031, and this the application is S0 is reject, and the conclusion, there is influence of social media and cyberspace in student learning. And social media factor and the current student environment, so it can be concluded that students now use social media more often and discuss, listen, track cyberspace. And the next question, the social media help students in supporting learning? It's zero, no difference or real relationship between real and virtual learning. And HA, there is real difference or relationship between real and virtual learning. And significance level is 5% or 0.05, and p-value equal by 0.031, and the question is 0, H0 is reject, and the conclusion, social media has an effect on learning student. Social media factor and development time could, so that no time student of need social student that conclude media in learning. And the conclusion is social networks such as Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook has become a part of everyday life. One of the reasons why social media is so popular is because it allows users to change their experience and interact with internet network. With so many technology and the new development of social networks today, there are many benefits and reasons for everyone, including students, to use social media. And I think that's all from my presentation. Thank you.